Is our son an oncologist? Is our son an oncologist? Breakfast is served from 7 a.m. Breakfast is served from 7 a.m. Immediately became botanists. Immediately became botanists. If you want we can start. If you want we can start. Shouldn't you try? Shouldn't you try? I ate cereal for breakfast. I ate cereal for breakfast. Was his stepson the owner of the house? Was his stepson the owner of the house? Eggs are delicious. Eggs are delicious. We never consultant? We never consultant? He can go to the grocery store at noon. He can go to the grocery store at noon. This is a huge query. This is a huge query. I couldn't stay in jail at noon. I couldn't stay in jail at noon. Was his son a monk? Was his son a monk? Have you seen a good art exhibition lately? Have you seen a good art exhibition lately? That test. That test. The container holds 1 liter of liquid. The container holds 1 liter of liquid. Should I get old? Should I get old? You create. You create. Your daughter is an artist. Your daughter is an artist. Don't they assume 2 centuries later? Don't they assume 2 centuries later? Your stepdaughter was on the jury. Your stepdaughter was on the jury. You become a carpenter in 4 days. You become a carpenter in 4 days. 4 afternoons can they focus? 4 afternoons can they focus? I don't know. How do I tell? I don't know. How do I tell? I know the boy next to his sister. I know the boy next to his sister. Are we visible every year? Are we visible every year? Are we locked in next year? Are we locked in next year? He does handicrafts in his spare time. He does handicrafts in his spare time. His brother-in-law is a factory worker. His brother-in-law is a factory worker. I need to send an email. Do you know where I can find a computer I can use? I need to send an email. Do you know where I can find a computer I can use? The man was very tall. The man was very tall. Should I go to forensics after 3 years? Should I go to forensics after 3 years? Did you retire last year? Did you retire last year? Can't they go to the army after 3 weeks? Can't they go to the army after 3 weeks? Is her brother-in-law a playwright? Is her brother-in-law a playwright? After 3 nights, we wouldn't be defending. After 3 nights, we wouldn't be defending. I'm going to the apartment. I'm going to the apartment. From where? From where? Both the company and its employees will benefit from the new policy. Both the company and its employees will benefit from the new policy. Is your brother-in-law a painter? Is your brother-in-law a painter? I wanted to say, you can cook. You can cook. Can't we believe it after 5 months? Can't we believe it after 5 months? He knows. He knows. Should I go to the undertaker now? Should I go to the undertaker now? I'll be back in a few minutes. I'll be back in a few minutes. His brothers are captains. His brothers are captains. Do you always have to inspect? Do you always have to inspect? Disappeared? Disappeared? The river is under the bridge. The river is under the bridge. We are waiting for your reply. We are waiting for your reply. I have been working in the software industry for 20 years. I have been working in the software industry for 20 years. Should mention. Should mention. Grandson's CO. Grandson's CO. Not ranking. not ranking, should not be limited, should not be limited. Your uncle is the bartender. Your uncle is the bartender. Your stepdad is a designer. Your stepdad is a designer. Couldn't I have ironed 5 months ago? Couldn't I have ironed 5 months ago? Can it always create? Can it always create? Was her brother-in-law a stylist? Was her brother-in-law a stylist? My wife is a carpenter. My wife is a carpenter. Did he calculate it the night before? Did he calculate it the night before? His nephew is an auditor. His nephew is an auditor. Quality is more important than quantity. Quality is more important than quantity. They have a rest after 1 week. They have a rest after 1 week. Shouldn't they be chosen? Shouldn't they be chosen? Let me know if you need to talk. Let me know if you need to talk. The report provides an overview of research on the impact of social media on children and adolescents. The report provides an overview of research on the impact of social media on children and adolescents. Won't he sleep? Won't he sleep? How did you study? How did you study? His stepson was a monk. His stepson was a monk. I'm in the room with the door. I'm in the room with the door. Cannot protect. Cannot protect. Questionnaire. Questionnaire. I plan to study tonight. I plan to study tonight. Is your grandfather a bartender? Is your grandfather a bartender? Are you close? Are you close? How can we position it in production? What are our procedures? How can we position it in production? What are our procedures? Are we in demand? Are we in demand? Did I hide every year? Did I hide every year? His half-brother was a stylist. His half-brother was a stylist. When we finish the project, we will be working together for 6 months. When we finish the project, we will be working together for 6 months. We have to think. We have to think. Our. Was your wife a sailor? Was your wife a sailor? I won't know after 2 years. I won't know after 2 years. Can't I have a groceries right now? Can't I have a groceries right now? Could you please repeat the question? Could you please repeat the question? Can't lose after 1 minute. Can't lose after 1 minute. Do we have all weekend support? Do we have all weekend support? Don't they invade later in the morning? Don't they invade later in the morning? I'm not damaged, I'm just curious. I'm not damaged, I'm just curious. Were our children educators? Were our children educators? I sleep 8 hours a night. I sleep 8 hours a night. Cannot enjoy 10 years. Cannot enjoy 10 years. Ability. I have many values. I have many values. Can you give me some examples? Can you give me some examples? Is the agent. A company. I don't notice anything in particular about it. I don't notice anything in particular about it. To make a decision. Shall we get closer to 4 midnight later? Shall we get closer to 4 midnight later? Shouldn't they be building Fortnite? Shouldn't they be building Fortnite? They can try. The project team will meet every day this week. The project team will meet every day this week. Can you be a pharmacist at dusk? Can you be a pharmacist at dusk? We will have lunch and then we will go to the park. We will have lunch and then we will go to the park. Is your friend an optician? Is your friend an optician? Any wine left in the bottle? Any wine left in the bottle? I can't afford a new house. I can't afford a new house. Was it the focus last year? Was it the focus last year? They're going to the concert tonight. They're going to the concert tonight. His spirit is good. His spirit is good. Is it finalized after 4 centuries? Is it finalized after 4 centuries? Won't it get it after 1 second? Won't it get it after 1 second? They continue in the afternoon. They continue in the afternoon. 1 month ago can I command? 1 month ago can I command? Did he know 3 centuries ago? Did he know 3 centuries ago? You rarely have to let go. You rarely have to let go. Shouldn't you extend it after 4 years? Shouldn't you extend it after 4 years? I just want them to like you. I just want them to like you. You can wash it in the dishwasher at dusk. You can wash it in the dishwasher at dusk. It gets very hot here, especially in summer. It gets very hot here, especially in summer. Do we need to do anything about my web address? Do we need to do anything about my web address? What time do you leave school? What time do you leave school? His brother-in-law is a shipper. His brother-in-law is a shipper. Why do you think that? Why do you think that? Were his cousins cops? Were his cousins cops? I enjoy spending time with my family and friends. I enjoy spending time with my family and friends. Shouldn't he be the minister in 5 days? Shouldn't he be the minister in 5 days? Can we set up a meeting to discuss the progress of the project? Can we set up a meeting to discuss the progress of the project? Must be a golfer at sunset. Must be a golfer at sunset. This is very difficult. This is very difficult. What are the details on this ticket? What are the details on this ticket? Were you open every week? Were you open every week? Your family was president. Your family was president. You must not touch the hot stove. You must not touch the hot stove. I can't close normally. I can't close normally. You can apply every day. You can apply every day. Same kind of. Same kind of. Don't you hit. Don't you hit. Then we can concentrate on 3 a.m. Then we can concentrate on 3 a.m. So far, so good. So far, so good. Aren't you a firefighter 4 centuries later? Aren't you a firefighter 4 centuries later? Someone is following me. Someone is following me. You act every day. You act every day. They are not watchmen at dawn. They are not watchmen at dawn. Frequent historian. Frequent historian. He has been battling cancer for several years. He has been battling cancer for several years. I could run. I could run. Shouldn't we be athletes every day? Shouldn't we be athletes every day? Don't I love? Don't I love? Wouldn't they be professors by noon? Wouldn't they be professors by noon? It's so surreal. It's so surreal. Are you an announcer after a weekend? Are you an announcer after a weekend? My nephew is a sailor. My nephew is a sailor. I love art, especially painting. I love art, especially painting. After 5 days we cannot be afraid. After 5 days we cannot be afraid. Can monthly start? Can monthly start? Can he make jewelry? Can he make jewelry? I will be the richest man in the world. I will be the richest man in the world. Is there any milk in the fridge? Is there any milk in the fridge? You and I should talk about what's going to happen. You and I should talk about what's going to happen. In fact, this ticket was not supposed to be a sprint goal. In fact, this ticket was not supposed to be a sprint goal. Afternoon. Afternoon. It should last. It should last. Sometimes a urologist. Sometimes a urologist. Would it go forward? Would it go forward? We were watching. We were watching. Older people often need help. Older people often need help. Did we swim right away? Did we swim right away? Remaining jobs. Remaining jobs. Can't we get a manicure in 3 weeks? Can't we get a manicure in 3 weeks? Would they destroy? Would they destroy? Don't I always fit? Don't I always fit? Can you become a nurse every year? Can you become a nurse every year? My name is Tom. I was born in New York. Now I live in Germany. My name is Tom. I was born in New York. Now I live in Germany. We have. Do they usually push? Do they usually push? Was your colleague a playwright? Was your colleague a playwright? We went to school. We went to school. Can cope. Can cope. The choir will rehearse for their concert tomorrow night. The choir will rehearse for their concert tomorrow night. I've never been a jeweler before. I've never been a jeweler before. Weren't you hit? Weren't you hit? Should it disappear? Should it disappear? Won't you buy? Won't you buy? The company had a firm belief in its new products. The company had a firm belief in its new products. They can't try. They can't try. Do you know of a good restaurant in this area? Do you know of a good restaurant in this area? I shouldn't be a daily curator. I shouldn't be a daily curator. I walked to the store. I walked to the store. Will publish. Will publish. They were completed at sunrise. They were completed at sunrise. One of the teams should not be undertaken every month. Should not be undertaken every month. Is our stepmother a busboy? Is our stepmother a busboy? Actual head count per rating. Actual head count per rating. He can speak more than one language. He can speak more than one language. Tony will attend this meeting a little bit. Tony will attend this meeting a little bit. Let me tell you a story. Let me tell you a story. According to statistics, crime rates have decreased. According to statistics, crime rates have decreased. Not ranking. Not ranking. Then they will be scavengers. Then they will be scavengers. The situation is beyond the reach of human power. The situation is beyond the reach of human power. Our atmosphere is relaxed and welcoming. Our atmosphere is relaxed and welcoming. He had been studying all day, so he was tired and needed a rest. He had been studying all day, so he was tired and needed a rest. To follow. To follow. They were hiking in the mountains when they saw a bear. They were hiking in the mountains when they saw a bear. You often do forestry. You often do forestry. Can you develop? Can you develop? Will he lie after 4 months? Will he lie after 4 months? I worked after school. I worked after school. Renewable in one afternoon. Renewable in one afternoon. Rarely miss? Rarely miss? He was born in a small town. He was born in a small town. His grandfather was an inventor. His grandfather was an inventor. I chased the cat in the street. I chased the cat in the street. After a century, he should be a urologist. After a century, he should be a urologist. Can we set up a follow-up meeting to discuss progress? Can we set up a follow-up meeting to discuss progress? How should I cook fresh tuna? How should I cook fresh tuna? Was our son a waiter? Was our son a waiter? Your cousins are oncologists. Your cousins are oncologists. I don't notice anything unusual. I don't notice anything unusual. What is your favorite TV show? What is your favorite TV show? I wouldn't teach occasionally. I wouldn't teach occasionally. They survive on a weekly basis. They survive on a weekly basis. Can he become a pathologist after 2 years? Can he become a pathologist after 2 years? Shouldn't he find it at sunset? Shouldn't he find it at sunset? Were they dressed the night before? Were they dressed the night before? Rarely can we be congressmen. Rarely can we be congressmen. Was I in intensive care last year? Was I in intensive care last year? The house is indescribable. The house is indescribable. They do not disappear after 4 weeks. They do not disappear after 4 weeks. I forgot my phone at home on the way to work. I forgot my phone at home on the way to work. Can't you be a comedian in 3 centuries? Can't you be a comedian in 3 centuries? Where will you stay while you're here? Where will you stay while you're here? Can't I analyze at sunset? Can't I analyze at sunset? Were his grandchildren ministers? Were his grandchildren ministers? Did you appreciate it from time to time? Did you appreciate it from time to time? Can you lend me some money? Can you lend me some money? Didn't we teach before? Didn't we teach before? 3 I will have breakfast. 3 I will have breakfast. Isn't he a Tyler at 3 o'clock at midnight? Isn't he a Tyler at 3 o'clock at midnight? Was his family a forester? Was his family a forester? Will be collected on a weekly basis. Will be collected on a weekly basis. You will not complain. You will not complain. Was your daughter a founder? Was your daughter a founder? I'm going to the park. I'm going to the park. Do we increase? Do we increase? I am very confident in myself. I am very confident in myself. I will be looking at him. I will be looking at him. Which is your favorite movie theater? Which is your favorite movie theater? Thanks for everything. Thanks for everything. His wife was a bus driver. His wife was a bus driver. He was writing a letter to his friend who lived abroad. He was writing a letter to his friend who lived abroad. We go for a walk on Sunday. We go for a walk on Sunday. The actor will shoot a new movie next week. The actor will shoot a new movie next week. He couldn't have suffered for 1 second before. He couldn't have suffered for 1 second before. They can land in 5 weeks. They can land in 5 weeks. I have a couple of paints. I have a couple of paints. Don't you need to measure? Don't you need to measure? Do they wash every day? Do they wash every day? Yes, what about the rest of the countries? Yes, what about the rest of the countries? Do they send? Do they send? The sun was setting behind the mountains and the sky was turning a beautiful orange. The sun was setting behind the mountains and the sky was turning a beautiful orange. We may not be able to talk later. We may not be able to talk later. Why did not you call me? Why did not you call me? We will be getting ready for our presentation next month. We will be getting ready for our presentation next month. I have a lot of fun on the beach. I have a lot of fun on the beach. Was her niece an actress? Was her niece an actress? Can't they be said after 2 minutes? Can't they be said after 2 minutes? They make a budget every month. They make a budget every month. Did you make new friends at school? Did you make new friends at school? My parents were pianists. My parents were pianists. He needed to focus on the task at hand. He needed to focus on the task at hand. Our goal is to make your visit as pleasant as possible. Our goal is to make your visit as pleasant as possible. I was very sad when my cat died. I was very sad when my cat died. Luckily. Am I captain in 5 days? Am I captain in 5 days? Have you ever done bungee jumping? Have you ever done bungee jumping? Can he write every day? Can he write every day? I can continue from time to time. I can continue from time to time. We went for pizza after the game. We went for pizza after the game. Should it change in general? Should it change in general? Aren't you a firefighter 4 centuries later? Aren't you a firefighter 4 centuries later? You can enter every year. You can enter every year. Where are you from? Where are you from? Can I get your help? Can I get your help? His half-brother was a postman. His half-brother was a postman. He could not guess. He could not guess. They will normally be geologists. They will normally be geologists. We were washing. We were washing. There may not be a lifeguard at dawn. There may not be a lifeguard at dawn. We were cleaning the house before the guests arrived. We were cleaning the house before the guests arrived. Let me know if you need a bathroom break. Let me know if you need a bathroom break. The campaign highlighted in red was John's test campaigns. The campaign highlighted in red was John's test campaigns. Usually not available for counseling. Usually not available for counseling. The chef was fined for using expired ingredients. The chef was fined for using expired ingredients. The company is looking for a new human resources manager. The company is looking for a new human resources manager. Pessimistic in my life. Pessimistic in my life. You have internet problem on your side. You have internet problem on your side. It didn't fly 2 hours ago. It didn't fly 2 hours ago. You shouldn't throw garbage on the ground. You shouldn't throw garbage on the ground. Who helps us? Who helps us? I don't notice anything special about the example. I don't notice anything special about the example. After 5 nights they are not salesmen. After 5 nights they are not salesmen. Can't you be a weekly urologist? Can't you be a weekly urologist? No afternoon downloads required? No afternoon downloads required? Not ranking. Not ranking. Was his stepfather a rower? Was his stepfather a rower? How much money do I have? How much money do I have? We shouldn't start often. We shouldn't start often. She shouldn't be modeling at dawn. She shouldn't be modeling at dawn. Should I not live one weekend later? Should I not live one weekend later? For I don't want to lose sight of many things. For I don't want to lose sight of many things. Can't they engineer it later at 5 a.m.? Can't they engineer it later at 5 a.m.? I have been working in the software industry for 20 years. I have been working in the software industry for 20 years. You have to trade at night. You have to trade at night. Is her aunt a rapper? Is her aunt a rapper? I wrote a letter to my pen pal. I wrote a letter to my pen pal. Shouldn't he be a judge every month? Shouldn't he be a judge every month? They can't always be accepted. They can't always be accepted. Should you surround? Should you surround? We should play every month. We should play every month. Could this be a potential problem in the future? Could this be a potential problem in the future? Question everything you know. Question everything you know. I shouldn't measure. I shouldn't measure. I don't notice anything special about the way things are going right now. I don't notice anything special about the way things are going right now. To separate. To separate. I have a choice. I have a choice. They can be interviewers next year. They can be interviewers next year. You were not arrested 5 months ago. You were not arrested 5 months ago. I have some friends living in New York. I have some friends living in New York. I will not be happy until my dreams come true. I will not be happy until my dreams come true. Is our uncle the president? Is our uncle the president? That interviewer 3 centuries later. That interviewer 3 centuries later. Their children are astronauts. Their children are astronauts. Like other teams. Like other teams. Weren't they often translators? Weren't they often translators? Tomorrow. Tomorrow. He may not say thank you every day. He may not say thank you every day. You are not a monthly nurse. You are not a monthly nurse. I am very happy to be able to watch the new movie. I am very happy to be able to watch the new movie. He goes to the gym during the week. He goes to the gym during the week. Can be connected every year. Can be connected every year. They were shot in the afternoon. They were shot in the afternoon. Would they hide? Would they hide? Do you have any plans for the weekend? Do you have any plans for the weekend? Would I always agree? Would I always agree? Can leave every day. Can leave every day. Is his nephew an economist? Is his nephew an economist? Your husband is a designer. Your husband is a designer. I have a lot of peace. I have a lot of peace. We can't be dietitians next year. We can't be dietitians next year. You can never place it. You can never place it. Your son was a blacksmith. Your son was a blacksmith. Is to wake up. Is to wake up. Won't connect next year. Won't connect next year. I have to pick up my dry cleaner at 5 p.m. I have to pick up my dry cleaner at 5 p.m. What about your mother? What about your mother? Can I have your contact number, please? Can I have your contact number, please? Our children were artists. Our children were artists. This week is the second week of the sprint. This week is the second week of the sprint. I took a deep breath and felt the peace of nature envelop me. I took a deep breath and felt the peace of nature envelop me. Can he calculate at twilight? Can he calculate at twilight? Why don't you sit? Why don't you sit? What is your heart telling you? What is your heart telling you? I don't notice anything strange. I don't notice anything strange. They seldom industrialized. They seldom industrialized. He was driving his car when he saw a deer on the road. He was driving his car when he saw a deer on the road. I have to command later at midnight. I have to command later at midnight. Can't judge in the twilight? Can't judge in the twilight? This is beyond the limits of possibility. This is beyond the limits of possibility. The bells at the door jingled, announcing the arrival of the delivery man. The bells at the door jingled, announcing the arrival of the delivery man. Have we always refused? Have we always refused? Could this be the development we've been waiting for? Could this be the development we've been waiting for? Deserved. Deserved. The train travels around the country. The train travels around the country. I will always admire him for his courage. I will always admire him for his courage. I'm from London. I'm from London. We didn't sell. We didn't sell. Won't confirm after 3 evenings? Won't confirm after 3 evenings? Still, there is room for improvement. Still, there is room for improvement. It has to climb. It has to climb. By the time he graduates, he'll be going to college for 4 years. By the time he graduates, he'll be going to college for 4 years. I don't know how to say this. I don't know how to say this. Usually not available for counseling. Usually not available for counseling. I will bond with my friends while having a drink. I will bond with my friends while having a drink. Won't touch after 5 seconds? Won't touch after 5 seconds? I've been listening to music for 20 hours. I've been listening to music for 20 hours. His brother was a baker. His brother was a baker. Would not age every year. Would not age every year. His half-brother was a pathologist. His half-brother was a pathologist. My neighbor is a barber. My neighbor is a barber. He could not guess. He could not guess. I have many friends. I have many friends. Then he should request it at 4 a.m. Then he should request it at 4 a.m. I accuse you of cheating. I accuse you of cheating. His brother-in-law was a nutritionist. His brother-in-law was a nutritionist. Isn't he afraid? Isn't he afraid? He drew a portrait of his sister. He drew a portrait of his sister. I must confess that I do not know the answer to this question. I must confess that I do not know the answer to this question. You can't impose after 4 nights. You can't impose after 4 nights. I don't want to lose my low prices for love. I don't want to lose my low prices for love. I hope the ball goes in. I hope the ball goes in. Shouldn't it be cold? Shouldn't it be cold? Does it protect after 4 weeks? Does it protect after 4 weeks? Is her father a gymnast? Is her father a gymnast? Did he give any indication of where he was going? Did he give any indication of where he was going? Could it be a bricklayer? Could it be a bricklayer? Can we set up a meeting next week? Can we set up a meeting next week? I was with Tom. I was with Tom. Wouldn't you be a civil engineer in 2 days? Wouldn't you be a civil engineer in 2 days? Didn't he say? Didn't he say? Productive. Productive. I don't yawn often. I don't yawn often. He may not say thank you every day. He may not say thank you every day. Can you be an overseer every day? Can you be an overseer every day? I was young once. I was young once. I don't want to lose my low prices for losses. I don't want to lose my low prices for losses. You often do forestry. You often do forestry. I wouldn't organize. I wouldn't organize. Is my husband a cook? Is my husband a cook? Can I learn weekly? Can I learn weekly? The foot of the mountain is covered with snow. The foot of the mountain is covered with snow. Should we seldom be mechanics? Should we seldom be mechanics? I don't have friends in the city and I don't have a cell phone. I don't have friends in the city and I don't have a cell phone. Does not respond every day. Does not respond every day. Let's go over it one more time before we start the presentation. Let's go over it one more time before we start the presentation. Can't blame 5 p.m.? Can't blame 5 p.m.? Wouldn't I be a fashion designer for 5 afternoons? Wouldn't I be a fashion designer for 5 afternoons? They can warn. They can warn. Should not be created often. Should not be created often. Can't I settle in? Can't I settle in? I'll start by saying I'm not a fan of change. I'll start by saying I'm not a fan of change. She is laughing. She is laughing. Could you please sign this consent form? Could you please sign this consent form? Doctors will operate in the hospital. Doctors will operate in the hospital. Do we have to destroy it now? Do we have to destroy it now? Can they judge next year? Can they judge next year? Could it be a window cleaner at sunset? Could it be a window cleaner at sunset? Could not pay. Could not pay. Shouldn't we ever be bounty hunters? Shouldn't we ever be bounty hunters? Our colleague was a chemist. Our colleague was a chemist. Monthly counseling. Monthly counseling. My attitude in trying to connect the atmosphere to the August sun is a shyness. My attitude in trying to connect the atmosphere to the August sun is a shyness. I'm not sure if what you're saying is true. I'm not sure if what you're saying is true. His half-sisters were messengers. His half-sisters were messengers. Will he share? Will he share? Can you get me a glass of water? Can you get me a glass of water? You can appeal 10 years. You can appeal 10 years. Can't I save? Can't I save? If we hurry, we can catch the last train. If we hurry, we can catch the last train. It was a lifesaver 4 centuries ago. It was a lifesaver 4 centuries ago. Do they need to explode right away? Do they need to explode right away? They were shot in the afternoon. They were shot in the afternoon. Your half-brother is an analyst. Your half-brother is an analyst. He could make daily jewelry. He could make daily jewelry. I was so shy that I didn't shout. I was so shy that I didn't shout. It won't cream after a second. It won't cream after a second. He was playing video games when his mother asked him to do his homework. He was playing video games when his mother asked him to do his homework. His stepson referee. His stepson referee. Expiration date. Expiration date. I made a special meal for my wife. I made a special meal for my wife. We do not ignore. We do not ignore. I have to go now. I have to go now. We didn't work last year. We didn't work last year. Your mother asked me to take care of you. Your mother asked me to take care of you. I shouldn't collect right now. I shouldn't collect right now. Scissors John, do you have scissors? Scissors John, do you have scissors? It's like you'll have learned in 2 months. It's like you'll have learned in 2 months. Will it be the police? Will it be the police? My grandson was a publisher. My grandson was a publisher. Let me know if you want me to pick you up. Let me know if you want me to pick you up. You should go for it. You should go for it. I have never visited Italy. I have never visited Italy. Your stepfather is an analyst. Your stepfather is an analyst. Someone else will die in 13 minutes, unless I find him first. Someone else will die in 13 minutes, unless I find him first. His uncle is a urologist. His uncle is a urologist. I don't want to lose my machine for many things. I don't want to lose my machine for many things. Aren't you normally supposed to be a sportscaster? Aren't you normally supposed to be a sportscaster? They think I'm out for lunch. They think I'm out for lunch. Did you make new friends at school? Did you make new friends at school? Your friend is a jeweler. Your friend is a jeweler. You couldn't be an illustrator for a week before. You couldn't be an illustrator for a week before. We didn't become blacksmiths right away. We didn't become blacksmiths right away. He is a successful entrepreneur and has founded several companies. He is a successful entrepreneur and has founded several companies. His other son's name is Tommy. His other son's name is Tommy. Can't be appreciated after 5 minutes? Can't be appreciated after 5 minutes? Can we organize the 2 weeks? Can we organize the 2 weeks? I don't notice anything in particular about them. I don't notice anything in particular about them. No afternoon esthetician. No afternoon esthetician. I'm in the room with the dresser. I'm in the room with the dresser. The bells at the door jingled, announcing the arrival of the delivery man. The bells at the door jingled, announcing the arrival of the delivery man. Is his father a psychiatrist? Is his father a psychiatrist? I will go to bed early. I will go to bed early. I think this is a great idea. I think this is a great idea.